Good morning. Today we're going to learn about geography. Think about it, the world is a very big place. And if you want to know the exact location of the world, the exact location where you are in the world, you need to have a system for figuring that out. And it's kind of mathematical or maybe scientific the way they do this. So we're going to talk about how you can find out where you are in the world precisely, the exact spot, using science and math. If you look at the globe, it is a sphere. We've talked about this. And what we've done on the globe, you can see, is we've made lines. The equator is one of them. It's a latitude line. And then we've made lines this way. These are prime meridian lines. And let me read what they have to say here about how they came up with this idea. Throughout history, geographers have tried to come up with ways of being able to locate particular places in the world. In the Middle Ages, the system of latitude and longitude was developed. It's this system that's still used today to plot places on the Earth's globe. Imagine the world is covered with imaginary grid lines, running vertically up and down and horizontally across. If you divide the map of the Earth into rows and columns, just like on the map here, this is how the system of latitude and longitude works. It places an imaginary grid all over the world. Before we look at the lines of the grid, you need to know what degrees are. The system of latitude and longitude is written in degrees. The symbol used for degrees is this, right here. This thing, this little dot. It's like a Cheerio. It's like a little open circle. Each degree on the Earth is approximately 69 miles or 111 kilometers apart. Don't worry if you're feeling a little confused. It'll all make sense very soon. But when we look at lines, we measure them in degrees. That's all you need to know right now. Okay, so first we're going to talk about latitude. Latitude is our lines that run horizontally. So the equator is a latitude line. See, it's running horizontally. These are the lines that divide the world into rows. They begin at the equator, which is the center. And above it is north, and below it is south. So if you're measuring anything, you're saying, how far north of the equator is it? Or you could say, how far south of the equator is it? The equator is the middle, so it's 0 degrees. See this right here, 0 degrees. The North Pole is 90 degrees. And the South Pole is 90 degrees south. All other places are between 0 and 90. 0 and 90. Look at the diagram to help understand the lines of latitude. Okay, let's look at it. So here's 0 degrees latitude. And then going up, this would be 15, 30, 45, 60. And then we get to 90. They don't always say every single latitude line on here. Can you imagine how many tiny lines we'd have to have 0 all the way to 90? 90 lines on there would be pretty confusing for our brain. So they skip a bunch. They say 0. They show 15. But they don't say it over here. I can figure it out though, because halfway between 0 and 30 is 15. They show 30. They show 60. And I happen to know that 30 to 60, halfway is 45. And also we're counting by 15s. And then 60, and they show 90. And if I had to know in between, I know they show every 15, so it'd be 75. Now each globe is a little different about how much they show, but usually it's 15. Okay, let's go south of the equator. We start at 0 again. Going down, this would be 15. This would be 30 south. This would be 45 south. Even though it doesn't say it, we can figure it out with our math. This is 60 south. In between 60 and 90, we could figure it out as 75 south. And then we have 90 south, which is the South Pole. Longitude lines are the ones going up and down, or vertical. 0 degrees longitude is located at Greenwich, England. So here's the 0 line, and here's Greenwich, England, right there. So this is 0. It's a little bit like the equator. It's 0, but it goes vertical, up and down. And you know how the latitude lines only went to 90? Well, these longitude lines go all the way around the Earth, so they go to 180. There's no north and south. With longitude lines, it's east and west, so it just goes all the way around. 0 degrees is Greenwich, England, and the degrees continue around the world up to 180 degrees east and 180 degrees west, where the lines meet at what is known as the International Date Line. Look at the map to see how the longitude line works. So, if we go this way, east of Greenwich, we can go up to 180 degrees east. If we go this way, west of Greenwich, England, we go west 180 degrees. See how both the latitude and the longitude lines together make a grid? And whenever you have a grid, you can find location. You can do sort of a coordinate grid. And that's what we use. We use longitude lines, these long ones, and latitude lines, these going across, to make a grid. Let me get to my next page here. So how do you locate places then? Well, now you know that it's got a grid, you can locate places. Everywhere on the Earth has an exact latitude and longitude reading. You need to remember to always say and write the latitude first and then longitude. For latitude, you say how many degrees something is north or south of the equator, or 0. For longitude, you say how many degrees somewhere is east or west of 0, or Greenwich, the date line. So let's have a go at this. Look at this map. A, marked on the map right here, would be written like this: 60 degrees north, 120 west. Well, let's see why. Okay, here we are at the equator, and this is 30, 60 degrees north. This whole line is 60 degrees north, and A lands on this line. So we have to say, in finding the latitude of this place, A, it's at 60 degrees north. Well, if it's 60 degrees north, it could be anywhere on this line. So now we have to tell what the longitude line is. So going from this 0 degrees longitude, Greenwich, England, we go 30, 60, 90, 120. And this curves, but we just follow the curve. And we are now at this spot A, which is 60 north and 120 west, just like it says. Look at B on the map. B is right here. First, what longitude line is it on? So we find longitude line. We're at 0 here. This is 30 south. Now 30 north would be here, so you have to say south. 30 south. 30 south could be anywhere along this line. So now we need a longitude line to tell us where on 30 south. Well, the longitude line is right here, 150. So starting from Greenwich, England, we're going east this time. 30, 60, 90, 120, 150. Follow the curve 150, and yep, that's B. So B is at the exact spot 30 degrees south latitude and 150 degrees east longitude. We can find that exact place. Precise location. The world is a very large place, so there is a way to find an exact location for a place. Remember, 1 degree is about 69 miles, or 111 kilometers. What if the place you wanted was 20 miles after the last degree? There needs to be some more precise measurements than degrees. Degrees are therefore divided into minutes and seconds. So 1 degree is 60 minutes, a minute is 60 seconds. They have symbols too. So the degree symbol is that open circle. The minute is like a quotation, parentheses. No, I can't think what this is called. Anyway, that, and then a quotation mark for seconds. We hardly ever use these so precisely. Maybe if you're into real estate or geography or geology, you might use this, but most of us don't use it so precisely. Okay, so we're going to stop right there because we're not doing the test today. So I hope you learned a little bit about geography, and you can always watch us again to learn more about latitude and longitude. Bye.